Hey everybody, playersbro here, but you all knew that. And first and foremost, if you're wondering what this amazing contraption in front of me is, you're like, hey, I've never seen this in your videos before. What the fuck is this? Well, let me just tell you, I've got a new mic now, and it's incredible. I have a blue Yeti. I believe it's the blackout edition or whatever the fuck you really want to call it. All I know is it's black. I've got a pop filter. I've got a mic arm that you cannot see in frame here, but I have a new microphone, so I'm really excited about that, and I hope that it will help increase the level of quality in what I like to do, whether on YouTube or Twitch, so that's great. But we will stop explaining that and get right into the thick of it. So I wanted to do the full kind of PAX wrap up a little bit after the fact. I was gonna do a last day, like end of day wrap up video and like a beginning, like a start of day, end of day thing, but I thought a little bit against it because I felt I could probably kind of do a recap of the whole thing a little better if I did that, like maybe a couple days after, once I got back home, had some time to recharge and just get into the thick of it and kind of talk about it for a little bit. But I'm not going to talk too long because I don't want to make this video very long. But anyways, so PAX East 2016, yeah, what a fucking time it was, man. It was amazing, as it always is. Definitely a lot better than last year. Not that last year wasn't exciting as well, but it was, I don't know, it felt really good this year. It was a lot of fun, and I had a lot of fun being there and seeing everything and getting to meet the people that I enjoy watching on YouTube or Twitch or wherever, and just, kind of immersing myself in the experiences I always do. But yeah, PAX East 2016 was a lot of fun. We got to see a lot of amazing things. I didn't get to play a lot because, I mean, it's always a tough thing with games, like wanting to play some things, because a lot of the really popular stuff that's like AAA, like you'd have to stand in line for like an hour or two, and like my line standing simulator is just not my forte. It's just not something I want to do. I don't want to stand in line that long just to play what is essentially a portion of a game that will eventually be coming out. Like, so like with Doom, could have wanted to stand in line and play that, but didn't feel like it because of, Bethesda booth. It's big, it's got a presence, there's a lot of people standing in line for that. It really was not worth its weight, even though I've played both the closed beta and open beta for the multiplayer, and I'll give my thoughts on that shit some other time, maybe on stream or whatever, but that wasn't worth standing in line for. But it was nice to just get to see some of the stuff that was there, both indie and, bigger named stuff. So like Doom, we got to see Rising Storm 2 Vietnam, which is looking to be an incredible game. I did get to play that. That was a lot of fun. It was the first time it was playable, apparently, at the booth at PAX this year. So getting to actually be one of the first few to get my hands on it and play it was an amazing experience. As it was, in kind of like an alpha state, there were some obvious things that probably needed to be fixed, but the fact that it was that playable and had a competent UI and things looked clean and nice means Tripwire has made a lot of progress. Actually, I think it's a different person Tripwire is publishing. I don't remember exactly. I just know it's a Tripwire thing, and I'm excited for that game because I enjoyed Red Orchestra 2 and I enjoyed Rising Storm. So Rising Storm 2 Vietnam will be a really fun game to look out for. And I definitely would, because it's one of those fun first-person shooters that decided to go to a setting that we don't get to see a lot of, and that's Vietnam, which I'd always been hoping there'd be a Vietnam game, and there's not many of them. I mean, I guess there has been through the course of time, but we haven't seen many lately. We see all these modern and futuristic settings, so that, to me, that was really cool, and that was special. Especially getting to play it first day too. Like, we got in like right as the queue lines were let loose on the floor. We got to be the first few people to play it, me and Mr. Big. So it was a lot of fun. But yeah, that was amazing. There was a lot of great indie titles. I don't remember them all by name, but there's a lot of interesting looking little titles. One that really stood out to me is this neat little game. It's like a party game. I don't remember the exact name because it's hard to remember it by name right now. I'd have to look it up again later, but it was this neat little game that played like, Old West high noon style shootout, but it was what they like to call a quick time event shooter, which is really funny. You think that'd sound awful, but it's not exactly what it sounds like. It's like taking like button combinations. Both people have button combos they have to press through on either side. So like think of like having to do like the Konami code on your side of like this screen, because there's a whole screen. There's two guys on either end. One is player 1, one is player 2, and there's a little like list of button combos, and you have to press each one as fast as you can. And whoever pressed through these combination of like joystick directions or D-pad directions and A, B, X, Y buttons on the Xbox controller, whoever pressed through the fastest wins the shootout, and it's best 2 of 3. It seemed like a very fun little like party style game that you could play with friends and stuff. It looked like a great little title, and I hope it sells reasonably well, or it gets featured somewhere on YouTube or maybe Twitch. I don't know, but it seems like it would be a very fun game to play. That was one of the more prominent indies that stood out in my mind. And oh, sorry, it's been a cold day out, so a little bit of a sinus problem there. But yeah, that was a very prominent indie title that kind of one of the prominent ones that stood out in the back of my mind. I mean, other ones, there was Enter the Gungeon was there, of course, in full force. They had it on a big screen, and they had a couch. You could play co-op with people. It was really cool. And they had a lot of other really interesting titles over in the Devolver area. So there was this game that, the way it looked very retro, very 90s, like first-person shooter. It looked like Half-Life or similar games of that time, but it was very optimized for this time. Like, it had 60 FPS. It played very smooth. Like, the UI looked a little bit more crisp and visualized, but it had this old school feel to it, so it looked like Half-Life or Quake or Unreal or something like that, and that was a very cool game to see too. Devolver always brings a lot of great titles to the table that they publish from various indie studios, and it's always impressive to go check them out. Did not get to see much of a, like, maybe Adult Swim's game booth, because I don't know, I guess we walked past it but didn't think to go take a look, but I'm sure they had some great games there. There were other notable ones, like Shadow Warrior 2 is really shaping up to be an impressive looking game, and an impressive game in the sense that it looks like a lot of fun to play. I have the first Shadow Warrior on Steam, and I have played through most of it, and for being a remake of a really old game, it's a lot of fun, and it has that great over-the-top sense of humor. Like, it's supposed to be ridiculous and, like, be action, like, action samurai movie sort of, but it just oozes with this style and this kind of comedic value and this level of fun that no other game can, and that's what I liked about Shadow Warrior 1. So to see them, like, step up and create an extension from this original game is something really impressive, and I think the guys that make Shadow Warrior 2 and have made the remake of the reboot of Shadow Warrior 1, they're gonna go places, because I think they're gonna hit their stride. It looks like a really fun game, and there was other stuff there. I mean, Harmonix was there with a big presence this year. They had a big stage, and you could go on and play with everybody and play songs. It was really cool. I never got to do it with Mr. Big or anybody because it was always packed. The line was always capped. There was just no way, like, and I hate standing around waiting for, like, a line to uncap, so we just kind of walked past and, like, looked at it. Ark has that new, like, PvP game mode, so that was there. I'm not particularly interested, but it was interesting in the fact that there was this big fucking, like, dinosaur statue thing that you could get a picture on. You could climb up these, like, the set of, like, those moving, like, set of stairs that you see at, like, Home Depots and shit? They had that set up so you could climb up it and sit on the fucking, the saddle for this big fucking T-Rex and get your picture taken. So it was kind of an interesting little thing. weirdly enough, there was a Pokemon booth. So they had Pokken and they had like Pokemon TCG. I guess there's like an online Pokemon trading card game that you can play, but I mean, this is my unofficial opinion with Pokemon trading card game. As a 25-year-old who used to collect the cards as a kid, it was cool to collect the cards because I liked the Pokemon. I liked the original 151. I liked Generation 2. I was alright with Generation 3, but my knowledge only goes up about that far. Then I just kind of stopped following it because, I don't know, I'm an old cranky man and I don't like anything past that, I guess. So sue me. But the TCG is always fun, but as someone who got into Magic the Gathering, I realized something very similar with Pokemon. It plays the same way, but it's fundamentally worse than Magic at a mechanical level, at least. So, I mean, that's alright if you want to play the TCG, I guess, but it's just, I don't know how anybody could play it because it does not work the same way. I mean, if you want to play a game like that, just play Magic the Gathering. That's all I got to say about that. I'm not going to get too much more into it. But, yeah, all in all, PAX was a really great time. I got to see Vinny from Vinesauce. I got to see GPM from Vinesauce. We got to meet the super best friends. We got to meet Kutra and Dan from the Creatures. So it was really cool. Like I said, the whole experience was a lot of fun. Sorry for repeating myself. It was a blast, and just being out in Boston is always a thrill for me because I don't get to be out in big cities like that. I mean, the closest thing I have where I live is across the bridge into Minnesota, so you have like Minneapolis and St. Paul, so you have the Twin Cities to go check out. But I drive through that area, and I have enough that it's not really all that exciting. Plus, Minneapolis can be a fucking zoo to drive through, so you know, that's whatever. But it's always cool to go out to Boston because I don't get to see the East Coast a lot. The only, like, real states I've been on the East Coast have been, like, Georgia and Florida. But that's about it. I haven't been to, like, North Carolina, South Carolina, or New York, or Pennsylvania, or Maine, or any of those other states. Actually, no, Rhode Island I've been to, too, because in Boston, we're close enough to Rhode Island that you can hop over to Providence and just kind of check that out. It's all right, too, but it's always a thrill just going out that way, and especially just for PAX, but the experience in general, being out and traveling, is always a thrill. So it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun, and I would definitely and will definitely do it again next year. So I'm excited for PAX East 2017. I'm excited to go. It'll be a lot of fun. But those are my thoughts on PAX East 2016, and I had a lot of fun with it, and it's something that I will definitely remember for the rest of my life, just like every other PAX I've been to, because I make it a yearly thing. But that's all I really got to say. Thank you guys again for tuning in and listening to me ramble for about 13 minutes. Jesus, I did go longer than I wanted to. But thanks for listening to me ramble about PAX and finally, bring closure to the whole thing. And, yeah, I might include some extra, pictures and stuff from PAX at the end of this video for you guys to check out. And just, like a title slide or something. But that's about what I'll do. So, thanks for tuning in. Thank you guys for continuing to watch and support me in any way. It's always a thrill to have people come and check me out, even if they don't stay for long. It's just nice that people like to watch me, because I don't do this for anything specific. I don't do this for massive view counts or lots of followers or subscribers on YouTube. I just do this because it's fun and I learn things, and I'm a bit of a tech guy. I go to school for it, so learning this kind of shit it's always a thrill. But I'm not gonna keep rambling. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.